Welcome to the Maternity Mentor. Today we will be talking about why it's so important to clean your baby's feeding items to prevent your baby from getting sick. Stay with us. Hi, I'm Samantha. I've been a registered nurse since 2009, working in mother-baby postpartum, NICU, antepartum, and labor and delivery. I'm also an IBCLC, I'm maternal newborn nursing certified, and I have received training in perinatal mood and anxiety disorders as well as perinatal bereavement. Cleaning is when you use soap and water to physically remove bacteria and germs. Sanitizing is an extra step that kills more germs and provides a bit more protection. Throughout the video, I will be talking about guidelines for cleaning and sanitizing that apply to both breast milk and formula feeding items. Let's explore how to clean and sanitize infant feeding items and when you should do that. Whether you have a healthy full-term baby or a medically fragile or premature baby, all parents want to make sure the feeding items they are using are clean. Therefore, it's really important to know the proper ways to clean and store infant feeding items. This prevents contamination with bacteria and other harmful pathogens that could make your baby sick. Feeding items for babies include bottles, nipples, rings, caps, membranes, valves, syringes, spoons, medicine cups, supplemental nursing systems, and pacifiers. While pacifiers aren't technically a feeding item, they are placed in your baby's mouth regularly, and care should be taken to ensure that they are properly cleaned before use. You should throw away any unused breast milk or formula remaining in a bottle after 2 hours because it can grow bacteria. Bottles should be cleaned after every feeding and sanitized at least once per day, and sometimes more often for the following babies: less than 3 months old, medically fragile or ill babies, and premature babies. Older healthy babies don't usually require regular sanitization of feeding items. It's important to understand that when you're providing breast milk for a baby in the hospital may have their own cleaning and sanitizing procedures. Make sure you understand their directions and follow them exactly so that they don't throw away your breast milk. Let's start with using the dishwasher to clean feeding items. Everything needs to be separated first. For example, taking nipples out of nipple rings. You should make sure to rinse all the parts under running water. The water can be whatever temperature you prefer, warm or cold. When placing the parts in the dishwasher, it's easy for them to get lost or flung all over the place. Invest in a closed-top dishwasher basket or a mesh laundry bag to place the pieces in. When running the dishwasher, use hot water and the heated drying cycle. Most dishwashers nowadays have a sanitizing setting. This helps to kill more germs when washing, so you can use it when you can. Once the items are clean, don't just grab them and run. Make sure to wash your hands with soap and water before removing the items from the dishwasher. If they're not completely dry, you need to allow them to air dry. They can be placed on a clean dish towel or clean paper towel. You don't want to rub the items dry because this can transfer germs to the feeding items. Also, make sure that the area is clean of dust and dirt. Cleaning feeding pieces by hand starts by washing your hands. Washing your hands needs to be done properly with soap that is lathered up to the wrists. You should sing happy birthday from start to finish twice while rubbing your hands vigorously. That equals 20 seconds, which is the Centers for Disease Control recommendation and is essential for ensuring your hands are clean. Rinse your hands when the 20 seconds is complete. Next, take all the pieces apart and rinse them just like the dishwasher, but make sure you have a clean basin or bowl to put them in. You don't want to set them in the sink because sinks tend to be full of bacteria. The basin you pick should be one that is used exclusively for your infant feeding items. I often recommend the pink basins you get from the hospital. Whatever you choose to use, make sure you label it so friends and family don't use it for defrosting chicken or mixing a cake. Fill that basin with hot water and add dish soap. Scrub the items with a clean brush that is used only for infant feeding items. Again, make sure to label it so no one misuses it. When cleaning nipples, make sure to squeeze water through it to ensure that it is properly cleaned. Rinse items again in fresh water and then place the items in a second basin used only for drying infant feeding items. Don't dry on your regular dish rack because it can also have bacteria on it. Same rules for air drying that we used for the dishwasher apply to hand washing. It's important to clean, rinse, and air dry the basins and brush after each use. Every couple days, make sure the basins and brush get cleaned in the dishwasher if they are dishwasher safe. Before we continue, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe so you can get our latest content to have a happy and healthy family. Now let's talk about sanitizing. For extra cleaning and germ removal, you want to sanitize feeding items at least once a day. If you're sanitizing in the dishwasher, you don't need to use an extra step for sanitization. Before sanitizing, items need to be thoroughly cleaned, including the bottle brush and basin, because you will be sanitizing those too. Then you sanitize using one of three options: boiling, steaming, or using bleach. Before deciding which way to go, make sure to read the manufacturer's recommendations on sanitization. If you decide to boil something that can't be boiled, you may end up with a sticky mess of melted plastic. For boiling, take everything apart, put them into a pot, and cover them with water. Place it on the stove and turn the heat on to high, bringing the water to a boil. Boil for 5 minutes and then remove items with a clean pair of tongs. Steaming is easy nowadays with ready-made bags designed especially for this on the shelves of your favorite stores. Just throw everything in the bag and follow the directions on it. I love this option for busy parents because it's quick and easy to use. Bleach is my least favorite option because it requires mixing and a lot of hands-on steps. However, if the feeding items can't be sanitized any other way, this may be your only option. Start by mixing 2 teaspoons of unscented bleach into 1 gallon of water, which is 16 cups. This must be done in a clean basin that you only use for sanitizing infant feeding parts. Submerge all the items, ensuring that the solution is touching all surfaces of the item. Make sure if you're sanitizing bottles that there is no air bubble inside of it, and squeeze the solution through nipples in a similar fashion to hand washing a nipple. Items should be soaked for 2 minutes before removing with a clean pair of tongs. Do not rinse the items and instead allow them to air dry as described before. Bleach breaks down quickly as it dries, so it will not harm the baby. After everything has been cleaned, it's important to store things properly or they could get contaminated. First, make sure everything is completely dry or mold and bacteria could grow in them. Before grabbing the items to put them away, wash your hands properly using the same technique as before. Then put everything back together and store them in a clean, dry, protected area like a closed kitchen cabinet. Before each use, wash your hands properly and assemble your breast pump, inspecting it for mold or soiled areas. I always recommend that you keep spare breast pump parts on hand because if anything is moldy, you'll need to throw it away and replace it immediately. After you're finished pumping, make sure to properly store your breast milk. For more information on breast milk storage, check out our video on this. We will link it in the description below. Take apart your kit and separate the pieces that came in contact with breast milk from the pieces that didn't. Clean and sanitize pieces that came in contact with breast milk the same way you would for infant feeding items. When you're finished, make sure everything is completely dry before reassembling the pieces, which you do after washing your hands, and then store the kit safely. Tubing never touches milk and should not get washed. If the tubing gets wet, make sure to dry it thoroughly or it can get moldy and it will need to be thrown out. Always read the manufacturer's recommendations and follow them to avoid ruining your pump pieces. Finally, make sure to wipe the outside of your pump and the pumping area with a disinfectant wipe to keep everything else clean and disinfected. Some parents wonder if they should be cleaning the formula scoop that comes in the container. The answer is no. It is better for it to stay dry, as that will prevent it from becoming contaminated. This makes it less likely to contaminate the formula itself. However, if it does get dirty or dropped on the floor, make sure to wash or sanitize it the same way you would wash or sanitize a bottle. It is not necessary to clean the outside of your formula container, but some parents feel more comfortable to do so. If you choose to clean this, use a disinfectant wipe on the outside and make sure the inside stays dry. Do not wash the inside of the canister and do not submerge it under water. A lot of people wonder if you can use a blender or whisk to mix formula. The recommended way to mix formula is shaking or swirling it inside the bottle itself. Whisks can be cleaned, but if not cleaned properly, could contaminate your baby's milk with germs. Blenders make mixing formula far easier, but they have been linked to illnesses in baby and therefore are not recommended. Cleaning and sanitizing your baby's feeding items are an important part of feeding your baby. I hope this has explained the differences between cleaning and sanitizing and how to keep your baby healthy and safe when feeding them. Please share your comments and let us know what topics you would like to hear more about. If you like this content, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you can be the first to receive this information. Remember, share this channel with your friends and family and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for additional content. We will link those in the description below. Thank you so much for joining us at the Maternity Mentor.